Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I will be doing the Krampus book tag, which I was tagged in by an erudite adventure and was originally created, I believe, by David's Book Reviews. I will have both of those videos linked below, but let's jump into this tag. So this is all themed around Krampus, who I'm not super familiar with, but is like a horned, like, possibly demon that, like, punishes the bad children versus Santa giving them gifts. And I think, like, the original folklore was more like he just, like, punishes the bad children and, like, works with Santa. But I know there's been, like, horror movies and stuff where it's an evil demon that kills people. So I guess whichever interpretation you take will make it interesting. So the first prompt is the man himself, and it's which fictional character would best portray the Christmas demon. So I went what I thought was a fun route, and I'm going with Death from Discworld, specifically because this book, which I have not read Hogfather the book yet, but I'm familiar with the story, and I've seen there's a movie version that was actually pretty good as well. Basically the plot of this is the Hogfather, who is a very Discworld-esque version of Santa, is indisposed, and Death has to take over the role. So, I mean, if Death has already taken over that role, why not try Krampus? And honestly, the Discworld version of Death, I think would be hilarious watching him trying to figure out how to punish people for being bad. So I think that would be a really, really great thing to see or read. Number 2, is that Sleigh Bells? Which fictional character deserves to be visited by Krampus? So there's a lot of characters I could have said here, but what I went with, just because it's still so fresh in my mind, is Hugh of Ostra from the Crown of Stars series. This is book 1, King's Dragon. He is a terrible, terrible person, and I could have gone with some Robin Hobb characters as well, but Hugh is just like this horrible, irredeemable, piece of human garbage, and so I think he could do with some very severe punishments from Krampus. All right, so number 3 is Bedtime Stories, and it's what is a horror book that best fits the festive season? So I don't really read horror. I'm reading and loving The Nightmareland Chronicles by Daniel Barnett right now, but as of the point I've gotten to, I don't think there's been anything that's any sort of reference to Christmas or other holidays. Maybe that's going to happen at some point. I don't know, so I didn't really think that fit, and I don't know any like Christmas-themed horror books, so I'm cheating a little bit here, but I'm going with the movie Santa's Sleigh, which is, the weird thing is I saw this completely randomly, like late at night on TV one time, and it is terrible, but it's hilarious. It's a movie basically where I believe Bill Goldberg plays Santa, if I recall correctly. And the plot of it is Santa's actually like an evil demon, but he made a deal with God and lost, or like made a bet with God and lost, or an angel or something. And so he has to be good and like give out presents for 1,000 years, but the 1,000 years is ending, so now you can go back to being a demon and killing people again, unless somebody else beats him. It is ridiculous and silly, but that's what I'm going with for this one because I don't have a better answer. So, number 4, Devilish Gifts. What is one strange fictional item that you would like to receive from Krampus? So, there's probably a lot of fictional items here, and I was trying to think of one that like has mischievous consequences, but instead I went with something that would just be really cool, and I think fits the whole Christmas motif, and like Santa's bag and all that. So I'm going with, and I don't remember who had it or what book it was in, but in Malazan, Book of the Fallen, there is a character who has basically a magical bag that has a warren inside of it, or a piece of a warren inside of it. So it's like basically like a portal bag. So you can put like anything in this small bag and like pull out things that are much bigger than the bag, and have it be really lightweight. And that would be fantastic for like carrying books around, especially the large books, among probably many other uses. So I'm decided I'm going with that. If you remember who or what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments, because I guarantee it's in there, but it's been a while and I don't remember any more specifics than that. But for some reason that popped into my head. Like I said, maybe it's because Santa's bag. I don't know. It popped in and I'm like, I'm going with that. Number 5, food, glorious food. What is one unusual food, fictional or real, that you would like to eat for Christmas dinner? So I went with, there's a lot of fictional like food that would probably be interesting. A lot of the books I read have mostly real food though. And I couldn't think of anything I've read where there's like a ton of stuff. But what I went with for this one is Aliantha, or otherwise known as Treasure Berries, from The Land in the Thomas Covenant the Unbeliever Chronicles by Stephen R. Donaldson. This is the first book, Lord Fal's Bane. These are like naturally growing berries that are supposed to not only like taste amazing, but like you could literally survive by just like as you walk picking them and eating them with like no other food or water apparently. And they're supposed to just be amazing. And so when I was reading, I kept thinking like, I really want to try these because they sound pretty interesting. So that's what I went for that one. Number 6, Home for Christmas. What is one dark and dangerous fictional location you would like to visit for Christmas? So, like, most of the dark and dangerous ones, I don't really want to go for Christmas because that sounds like a bad time. So I stretched this one a little bit too. But I would love to visit Roshar. Now, granted, I'm holding up Rhythm of War. There is some wars going on, and I also have dark eyes. So, like, I would not probably... be able to just do whatever I want and have like light eyes questioning me like, what are you doing, peasant? So I figure between me having dark eyes and all the stuff going on, this counts as dangerous. And there are just so many fascinating places that have been described on Roshar and creatures and everything, especially with like some of the art. It would be super cool to see. So that's what I went with, is Roshar. Number 7. Location. Where would you like to travel with Krampus / who would you like to visit with Krampus? So for this one, I went with Bingtown and or the Rain Wilds from Realm of the Elderling, specifically at the time of Dragon Keeper, because I would like to go with Krampus and punish basically every character in this book. This book was so annoying. All of the characters were annoying. I did not like them. Most of them were terrible people. And like, I love Robin Hobb, and I've loved all the other Realm of the Elderlings books, but she's too darn good at writing unlikable characters. She's just too good at it. And I just would like to, do like the Belschnickel thing from The Office and like whip them with the thing. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun right now. So, and 8, Locking Horns. What fictional character, good or evil, would you like to see battle against Krampus? So, since I said something negative around the Elderlings, naturally I should probably say something positive. And so this is kind of a weird answer too, but for some reason it popped into my head and I couldn't stop thinking about it. I would love to see the Fool in the era of the Farseer trilogy, which is why I have Assassin's Apprentice, face off with Krampus. And like the Fool's got Ratsy, his scepter, and they're all just like talking. He's talking circles around Krampus, who's trying to punish somebody. Probably Fitz. Fitz always is getting punished for something. But it just seems like it'd be the most ridiculous thing ever. And so that would be a lot of fun. And I like the idea of it. So, and then finally we have number 9, Spreading the Fear. What book, fiction or nonfiction, would Krampus give to Santa for Christmas and why? So this is where I was a little torn by like what this means. Like, because I think Krampus technically like works with Santa, so they're not like necessarily like enemies. But also, like, if you're going, like, the more modern U.S. take of, like, evil demon. So I'm like, maybe Krampus wants to punish Santa. You think Santa's been bad? So I decided to go with The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, because reading that book to me was punishment. So maybe Santa will like it. A lot of people do, but it was not for me. So that's my answer for that one. All right, so those are my answers for the Krampus tag. Once again, check out the videos I have linked down below, both for An Erudite Adventure, who tagged me. Thank you for tagging me, by the way, and the original video I'll have linked there as well. Definitely check those out. This was a really unique tag, so it was kind of fun to do. It was hard to come up with some of these answers, but tags that aren't just like the same things are always a lot more fun, I feel like. Because there's just so many tags out there. So this was a really strange one. I meant to get this out before Christmas, and I didn't, but I'm counting this as close enough. This should still be coming out in December, so still counts. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like. Check the link in the description for the Wizardly Do It Discord if you want to chat any of these books, any books at all, really anything. It's a ton of fun there, and we would love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.